big or small. Let's be real, y'all have been asking for this video ever since I first made my first Hell of a Boss video. And seeing now the Hazbin Hotel finally, after 5 years, has started to be released with 4 episodes released so far. So, sit back, ladies and gentlemen, because I've got one question to answer, and that is Hazbin Hotel good or bad?
Now that that's over, howdy peeps, it's the Pink King here. And as of the time I'm recording this, I just saw the first 4 episodes of Hazbin Hotel, and there's a bit here to discuss, so let's start off with the context. Hazbin Hotel's pilot was released in 2019. It is the brainchild of Vivian Medrano, or aka Vivzy Pop. It's about the daughter of Lucifer, Charlie, and her girlfriend Vaggie coming together to run a hotel that aims to save demons by sending them to heaven due to the overpopulation problem. Along the way they get some new members and are even joined by Alistair, a mysterious radio demon who wants to use the hotel as entertainment. Now, instantly, you might have noticed how I said the pilot aired in 2019. This show has been in production hell for like 5 years now, but eventually they were picked up by A24 and Amazon Prime to finally bring the highly anticipated series to life. Now, that's a long time to get anything out. Just as a frame of reference, in the time we've had to wait from the pilot to the series, we've had 25 MCU projects released. And that's not including any of the Sony content. Yeah, they certainly took their time on this. So the results should reflect that, right? Well, they do! Yeah, this show's pretty good. It's only been 4 episodes released so far, but in those 4 episodes, I have already been highly impressed. First off, let me just say, this is far better from Hell of a Boss. The production, the animation, the writing, everything has just been pushed to a higher level here, with Hazbin having a Gravity Falls vibe to it. I don't know if it's just me, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of this. Such as with the characters. They are surprisingly really fleshed out and performed so well. Each one of them gets their own ample screen time. A big problem I had with Hell of a Boss was the lacking of any good characters, as well as the lacking of ones that stood out, especially when it came to the villains. With Hell of a Boss rogues galleries mainly consisting of some evil bosses or some frustrating bounty hunter. And yes, we got stuff like that here, but they're just handled so well compared to Hell of a Boss. My favourite characters being Husk and Vox. Husk, voiced by the legend Keith David, provides such a sleazy and charming voice to him, giving a performance that really stuck out to me. He was able to convey so much of who Husk really is in just a few minutes, and it's fantastic. And with Vox, he's absolutely hilarious. His rivalry with Alistair was so much fun to watch, with their song just being such a banger. But in terms of who's possibly the strongest character, that would probably have to be Angel Dust. He's performed well and used well within the show, with them showing his job and how much better he is at the hotel. They really make you feel sorry for him, and that just adds to my next point. All the characters bounce off each other so well. It's so much fun watching them interact with one another because they feel so organic and genuinely engaging, unlike Hell of a Boss, which had a very clunky and unfocused chemistry with its characters. So yeah, already these characters are such a huge upgrade, and it also helps that the writing they give them is genuinely great. The first episode I'd say was probably the weakest, and don't worry, there's something about episode 1 I'm going to get back to, do not worry. But the writing is really well paced. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels rushed or too slow. There's a natural progression that makes sense. And a huge improvement from Hell of a Boss is the comedy. Maybe it was because there was more writers here, but Hell of a Boss's comedy is one of my least favourite things about it. It's so vulgar heavy, that's just groan-inducing at that point, and they lacked the creativity to try anything else. But Hazbin was so smart with the comedy, with it not just relying on swear words to equal funny, but they set up things that had fun animation with it. They played off the characters and their quirks. Sure, not all of them land, but I found myself laughing a lot more than I had initially thought, especially after watching the original Hell of a Boss episodes. And finally with the writing, the songs were just so good, man. wHěŽE knows how to make a good song. I'm gonna be honest, I got straight up Disney song vibes from watching these. And I mean like the classic Disney vibes, the older musicals. With my favourite song being a very popular one at the moment, Loser Baby. That one was such a blast, and perfectly fit the moment, as it told us more about the characters, pushed the narrative forward, and it just genuinely is such an earworm to listen to. But the other songs, like Stayed Gone or Whatever It Takes, genuinely are also just as great. With them using the world and the style of the show so well. Probably the weakest songs, if I had to pick ones, are the ones from Charlie, but other than that, they're all a blast and just real earworms. Yeah, there's just so much to love about this show. The characters are memorable and they're amazing. The writing is surprisingly clever and it's able to handle very serious topics in a very mature way, which genuinely caught me off guard. It didn't try to glamorize the things it was showing, which was something I was worried it was going to do, but rather showed a very dark but honest nature about it. And yeah, it works. It works really well. But, as I said earlier, this show's great, but I didn't say it was fantastic. And here is the part I want to talk about with this episode. Episode 1. They did something in episode 1 that I am just in complete disbelief at, because this change ruins the entire point of the show to even exist. Spoiler alert, by the way. Charlie has a meeting with Adam, an angel from heaven. In this scene, they tell us two things. Number 1, the angels aren't there to sort out overpopulation, and 2, they kill demons because they're pieces of shit who fear demons rising up against them. Ugh, that's so stupid. Not only did they change the original story, the changes that they made ruin everything. Think about it. If the angels only killed the demons because they're assholes and not because of overpopulation, then what's the point of the hotel? No, seriously, with the overpopulation point, the hotel worked as a way to help the demons and the way to drive the story forward. But if the angels kill just because they're assholes, then 1, they won't let any good demons into heaven, defeating the entire point of the hotel, and 2, if they just kill out of fear of them, then you can't change their mind on that. The entire concept of the show is completely null and void, because why are we watching a show about demons trying to redeem themselves if that's never going to happen? It just makes me feel like I'm wasting my time, because there's no point to anything anymore. Despite how good it is, it just feels pointless. And also, I really liked the angels before. Like in the pilot, they were intimidating, they were mysterious, the perfect balance for an antagonist like this. They were ambiguous and it left such a good mystery, like whether it was possible or not for a demon to even be redeemed. But here, they just flat out say, no, you can't be redeemed, and that's just so boring. It removes so much of the tension and the intrigue, and just makes them feel like another villain of the week. Which is the worst outcome for this show. They had such a good premise, but they killed it off before it even had a chance to spread its wings. So yeah, so far, the show has been great, with so much fun and genuinely heavy themes thrown in, and it just treated it with ample respect, but the show unfortunately has done a stupid move that unfortunately will always be in the back of my mind whenever I watch an episode. So yeah, this show's got a lot of growing up to do, but if they keep improving like they've done so far, I totally see this show becoming something special. So for now, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 is fair so far. Not the best, but far from the worst, honestly. And when the whole season comes out, I'll eventually give an entire breakdown on the entire season. But for now, those are my initial thoughts on Hazbin Hotel so far. What were your opinions? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you all